Are dreams just random images fired from an unconscious brain during sleep? Or something much more important, like life-saving inner guidance? How dreams can be healing and early warning tools for disease, financial crisis, or success. And love is still one of the behavioral science's greatest unanswered questions. Hello, I'm your host, author Kat O'Keefe Kanavos. Welcome to Dreaming Healing, where dreams and cutting-edge scientific research meet on syndicated Dreamvisions 7 radio network. Dreaming Healing is every Tuesday at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern, with live shows on the first and third evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, when you can call in and ask Kat questions about your amazing dreams. Talk on air. Call toll-free, 833-220-1200. That's 833-220-1200. Come live your dreams out loud with Kat.
Good evening, everyone. I am so glad you are here. This show is live video. So if you're only listening and you want to watch, go to my website, The Queen of Dreams, or KathleenO'KeefeCanavos.com. You may have seen me on my video podcast last hour on the Kat Kanavos Show live on New Earth TV, where I had a panel of children's authors talking about tips for writing children's books and some of the challenges they had getting published. And if you missed the awesome show about dreams with Doctors Kimberly Mascaro and Linda Schiller, Google Dreaming Healing Show, or go to my archives on Dreamvisions 7 radio network from my website, KathleenO'KeefeCanavos.com, or again, The Queen of Dreams, and watch it because it was unbelievable. So, Reverend Temple Hayes and Barbara Bertucci believe that miracles happen every day in every single way. But do we see them? So Temple Hayes is writing the foreword, and Barbara Bertucci is a contributing author in the third book in the Sacred Stories trilogy, Mayhem to Miracles. And they're here with us tonight to discuss everyday miracles. But first, let's start the show off with our favorite protection and clearing meditation. Okay, so if you are driving right now, please don't close your eyes. It really will still work. Only listen, all right? Just listen to us. It'll work. And we're all going to be thinking of you driving. During this meditation, for those of you who are new, we're going to imagine using something that's really small, but powerful to you. So that's kind of the juxtaposition. Maybe it's something given to you in a dream by your guardian angel, or it could be a spirit guide, or maybe a deceased loved one, like an amulet. So if you don't have one, just imagine holding your favorite flower or a crystal or a piece of jewelry in your hand that has really strong meaning to you. Anything that holds power of love to you is going to be your power gift. Okay, now sit comfortably, and what we're going to do is we're going to take these 3 really deep breaths of life together, and we're going to hold them while anything that is not of the highest and best, memories, thoughts, something somebody said to you, something you said to somebody, they're all going to connect in that breath of life, and we're going to blow them out across the room into the purple flame of Saint Germain, where they're going to be converted into positive energy and returned to the universe. That way, we're not littering, okay? And we're going to do that 3 times. So get comfortable right now. Ready? Close your eyes. Feel yourself relaxing. Kind of roll your shoulders, becoming centered. Take a deep breath in. Hold it. Imagine any tiny specks of negativity getting in that breath and blow it off across the room into that big, beautiful purple flame of Saint Germain. All right. Once again, deep breath in. Really hold it. so those specks can get in there. Blow it out across the room. Really empty your lungs. Just take a deep, deep breath out. Get rid of all of it. And one more time. Deep breath in. Fill your lungs. Just really fill them. And if you find yourself coughing, great. Wonderful. That's what we want. Hold it. Hold it for any of that stubborn negativity. Blow it out. All the way down across the room. Into the purple flame of Saint Germain. Now, imagine your power gift in your hand. Swing it around your head and your body to create this mirrored bubble of protection around you that only allows that which is of the highest and best and brought in by your spirit guides or guardian angels into this bubble. Anything else that is not of the highest and best is reflected off this bubble back from whence it came. We wish it so, and therefore it is. When you're ready, slowly open your eyes. In the meantime, you can just listen. It's okay. You know, I believe in miracles happening to us every single day, but do we see them? When we miss them, are we missing out on some celestial gifts? Some of these gifts may come in the form of just strangers coming into our lives to make a difference, or comforting, guiding, precognitive dreams. Dreams can be sacred doorways to the divine, life-saving messages from deceased loved ones can reach us through our dreams. So please meet Reverend Dr. Temple Hayes, who's writing the foreword, and Barbara Bertucci, a contributing author, and the third book in the Sacred Story series, Mayhem to Miracles, as we discuss everyday miracles. Let me tell you a little bit about him first. Reverend Dr. Temple Hayes spent the early part of her career as a business owner, and then she served 3 years in the Army Reserves, became a Science of Mind minister in 1991, and an ordained Unity minister in 2007. She's described as a prophet and mystic for our times. Temple Hayes is a difference maker, a spiritual leader, author, international motivational speaker, humanitarian life rights advocate, shamanic practitioner, and president and founder of life-changing nonprofit organizations. Currently, Temple serves as CEO and spiritual leader of First Unity Spiritual Campus, a New Thought Center in St. Petersburg, Florida. And Barbara Bertucci, AKA to her friends BB, made a decision early in her life to support people on their health path, both traditionally and alternatively. So she was a medical office manager and a medical billing specialist for over 17 years, and a reflexologist for the past 22 years. She is, like me, a breast cancer thriver. The greatest love of her professional career is Nikan. And I hope I said that right, BB. Nikan. And she has had the privilege of being a royal diamond for the past 18 years. And Barbara says, thanks to Nikan and alternative practices, I thrive rather than survive. Hey, I hear ya. Barbara brings compassion, clarity, and coaching to all her clients. Her mantra is, life is meant to be great, and I am thriving. You can find more about Temple at templehays.com. That's TEMPLEHAYES.com. And you can learn more about Barbara Bertucci at foreveryoungsolutions.com. And it is just as it sounds. So I'm excited to have you both in the next Mayhem to Miracle books, and welcome to the show, Barbara and Temple.
Awesome. It's great to be with you for sure. And I love these projects that you put together because you're just an amazing networker, Kat, and you just bring people together from near and far with a common subject, and it's really great. Having the good pleasure of being in the book Crappy to Happy, it's just amazing. I'm very appreciative of what you and beautiful Ariel Patricia, right, are doing.
Mhm.
It's just
Yeah.
fascinating. Yeah. So it's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, thank you. Yes, our Crappy to Happy book did so well that we decided to do another one. But this time, Crappy to Happy came out just when the pandemic hit, and we didn't plan that.
Right.
But it was perfect for that time period. And now, I don't know about you and BB, but I am ready to move into some miraculous times,
Yeah.
because I'm kind of tired of being shut down and being safe. And I'm ready to embrace the miracles that are coming forward to us. So, BB, I'm so glad you're here, and you are going to be a contributing author in this next book, Mayhem to Miracles.
Right. Thank
Oh, BB froze.
you. Froze.
Oh, we're having
Am I
some
good?
trouble with BB. Yeah, BB, we're having a little bit of trouble with you, but you know what? We're having a lot of trouble with the internet tonight. So I'm sure it's not you. I think it's the internet. So anyhow, we're so thrilled to have you here.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Is it working now? Oh, good. I'm so glad to be here. See, miracles happen as we speak.
There we go. So, I want to start right off with the obvious question. Do you guys believe in miracles, and why? Let's start with you, BB. Do you believe in miracles?
Every day. I ask for treasures, surprises, things on a daily basis, because if you don't put it out there, you're not going to get them. Right. So to look for those little things that, I mean, any of my friends know that I can be walking the dog and see the tiniest little flower, and I just stop and I go, "Ah, thank you, God. It's one of God's creations, right? This little purple flower in the midst of all the grass." And I just take a moment and really enjoy that and love it. Nature is one of my miraculous things that just bring me back to my core and to who I am. And I think it's something that we all need to be aware of, is the birds chirping, the wind on our face. Today we have fog. It's like, fog, but we do. And so that moisture, it's like, wow, you don't even think about all these things, but those are tangible ones. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, because there are other ones that we speak of or hold. And I'm pretty good at, I intend to be really great at every word that comes out of my mouth is carving my future. And so to catch ourselves and to have that as a goal is also some ways of having miracles show up in our lives just by watching what we say.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. What about you, Temple? Do you believe in miracles, and why do you believe in them?
Well, I mean, the very fact that I'm sitting here with you and that I am alive is an incredible proof of a miracle. When I think of between the ages of 14 to 29, at the level that I drank, because, like you, Kat, or Barbara, I don't do anything halfway. So, I mean, I really did it well. But when I think of the car accidents, and I say it, I laugh about it now, but with great humility, the wrecked automobiles that I was able to walk away from, the fact that all my fingers and toes and everything on my body works, And I mean, I like hit a transfer truck going 65 miles an hour that knocked me across on the other side of the interstate. I'm not talking little fender benders here. So yes, I am living proof that miracles occur. Miracle, the word miracle, and miracles has been a very important part of my life. And throughout our house, we have little sayings: looking for a miracle, seeking a miracle, wanting to observe and know a miracle. So yes, so that's a big one right there. And it's like you're saying, it's the ability to be brave and bold and to command and invoke miracles in your life. You know, I mean, in across various parts of the world, people thought nothing of commanding that the weather change, commanding that something would occur, and so it would. And we, I feel, do not exercise that enough in our lives as human beings. We settle often rather than stretch.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. And
Mhm.
I think, you know, in my life, I've had so many miracles, and
Mhm.
like BB, Barbara Bertucci, who is on the show with us, but her friends all call her BB, and so I get to call her BB because I'm actually one of her friends. You know, she's a breast cancer survivor, and in my case, for those of you who are new and don't know, my dreams diagnosed my breast cancer. The
Mhm.
doctors had missed it with all of their fabulous tests, and I was at, you know, the one of the best cancer institutes in Massachusetts. But sometimes God works in very mysterious ways, and although all of these incredible tests missed it, my spirit guides that came into my dreams were monks, and I'm like, monks? Why would I have monks in my dreams? I'm not Catholic. Who are these monks? But they really did catch my attention. And they said, you have breast cancer. You go back to your doctor tomorrow. And they handed me this little tiny feather. And they said, you use this like a sword. And you use it to fence with your doctors and cut through all their arguments. And you get a second set of tests. And the moral of the story is, I did that. I trusted in God. I trusted in my feathers and my guides. And I survived breast cancer 3 times. It was missed all 3 times. But my latest miracle was, I was supposed to go back to California with Peter on the 4th. And I was supposed to take the cats. And we were going to stay there until June and then return to Florida. And I decided at the last minute not to go because California is still very locked down and Florida is so open, as you guys know. We've been partying in little parties among ourselves and we've been fine. And 2 days after my husband got back, our condo out there caught on fire and starting in the garage. We don't know what started the fire yet. It was either my brand new car, the golf cart, or the hot water heater, because those were the only things plugged in the garage, or had some way of catching on fire. The car wasn't plugged in, the golf cart wasn't plugged in. So it was one of those 3 things. But at about 4 a.m, when the alarms went off all through our condo, Peter went out into the hallway thinking, oh my gosh, the fire alarm things up in the ceilings have to have their batteries replaced and they're all going off. And then he saw all this black smoke billowing out over the top of the garage doors. And believe it or not, BB and Temple, he opened the garage door and this big ball of fire chased him down the hallway. He was only in his pajama bottoms because he doesn't like to sleep in tops. He gets too hot. And he was barefoot. And he made a right turn and ran out the front door as this big ball of fire chased him down the hall. And it burned the condo basically to the ground. But
Wow.
he was not hurt. I wasn't there, so I wasn't hurt. And we didn't end up losing our cats, which are our fur babies, because at the last minute, I decided not to go. And I remember when I had been diagnosed with breast cancer recurrence, that was a 9 by 11 centimeter tumor. And I remember saying to myself, I'm not going to survive this. My mom didn't survive her recurrent cancer. I don't know anybody who has survived recurrence. And I remember praying one night and saying to God, okay, I give up. Thy will be done. And I totally surrendered, Temple. And I said, if you want me to live, great, I'll do whatever you want. And if you don't, fine, I'll see you on the other side. And starting that time, that's when I started really noticing the miracles, because I didn't die. I did survive the recurrence. And since then, I must have something I need to do. And I'm sure the two of you are involved in it, or we would not have connected at the heart and the hip the way we have.
Right, we're inseparable.
God has something in mind for me, and he's not going to take me 1 minute before it's my time. So do you guys ever kind of feel that way yourself, where when you surrender and you don't just say the words, thy will be done, but you really mean it, where you've given up the fight and you've given it to the Lord and you've said, okay, I'm done. You take care of me or not. Do you ever find that that's when the miracles start really showing up?
Yeah, I was just talking to one of my students. As you know, we have an online university, and we really train spiritual leaders to move beyond your head into your heart. And so one of my students was asking me about what are some of my bedside practices when I'm going in when someone's going to die, right?
You know what? That sounds great, Temple. I want to come back to that because I know it's going to be long. We have to go to break.
I don't know about long.
It all has to go fast. Don't go away. We'll be right back. You're listening to Dreaming Healing on Dreamvisions7radio.com, and I'm your host, Kat Kanavos. We'll be right back.
Ever had a strange dream? Nautilus Award winner, Dreams That Can Save Your Life, Early Warning Signs of Cancer and Other Diseases by Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos and Duke University radiologist Dr. Larry Burke. Forward by Dr. Bernie Siegel shares how people like you self-advocated in the face of adversity and won using dreams. Read life-saving dream stories validated by medical reports. Hear how dreams of dead loved ones saved lives. Use interpretations and journaling as roadmaps in your waking world for health, wealth, and love. Dreams That Can Save Your Life, Other Diseases. Buy the audio and book at KathleenO'KeefeCanavos.com in English and Italian worldwide, and through Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and other retailers.
How did life start on Earth, and why is there so much suffering? Are we living in a simulated reality like the characters in the Matrix movie? Do parallel dimensions exist alongside ours, influencing our experience? What are the mysterious dark energies that penetrate our universe? Peter Canova folds space and time to bring the twin bookends of ancient wisdom and quantum science into a single focal point, answering these and many other deep mysteries of the creation. Quantum Spirituality can be heard every Tuesday at 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern and 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Pacific on syndicated Dreamvision 7 radio network. See the show where past and present merge to show us our future.
What if dreams can diagnose your life? What if we can meet the love of our life in dreams? Join host Kat O'Keefe Kanavos, the #1 internationally best-selling author of Dreams That Can Save Your Life, written with Duke University medical doctor Larry Burke. Dreaming Healing is where we'll explore dreams, research, and interpret dreams from you, the caller. Dreaming Healing shows can be heard every Tuesday at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern, with live shows on the first and third evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific Time on syndicated Dreamvision 7 radio network. Come live your dreams out loud with Kat.
Have you met your physician within yet? The Nautilus and multi-award-winning book, Surviving Cancerland: Intuitive Aspects of Healing, is a memoir that takes you down the rabbit hole of healing dreams and interpretations, mixed with conventional medicine and treatments. Listen to the hookah-puffing caterpillar ask, "Who are you?" Dr. Bernie Siegel says Kathleen's story is powerful, honest, and eye-opening. Surviving Cancerland, Intuitive Aspects of Healing by 3-time breast cancer survivor Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos. Buy the book and audio at KathleenO'KeefeKanavos.com and worldwide through Amazon and other retailers. Why are we here? How can we be happy? Questions asked from millennials to boomers. Crappy to Happy, Sacred Stories of Transformational Joy answers them using true stories of grit, grace, and love. James Redfield, author of The Celestine Prophecy, wrote in the foreword, "This book is a seminar about emerging truths and offers grounded solutions through the art of the comeback." Dr. Bernie Siegel, a contributing author, wrote, "Bodies die, but spirits and consciousness survive and recycle." So, grab some tissues, open your book, and prepare to cry and laugh till it heals. Crappy to Happy by Reverend Ariel Patricia and Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos. Available from Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and booksellers worldwide.
This is Dreamvisions 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
Welcome back to Dreaming Healing on DreamVision7Radio.com. I'm your host, Kat Kanavos, and we were discussing miracles with our guest tonight, Barbara Bertucci and Reverend Dr. Temple Hayes. And just before the break, Temple was going to tell us something really, really important that she does. So Temple, can you pick up where you left off?
Of course. Yeah, it's in reference to what you were saying, absolute surrender. So what she asked me was, what are some of your bedside manners practices when you go to visit someone who's dying? And I said, well, there's a whole different space where you are working with the difference between your knowing. So you're called in because you're told someone's going to die, and your knowingness when you totally surrender to something greater than you. And so I said, for example, I walk into this veterans hospital. A woman has been given the wrong medication, and they told me she wasn't going to make it. And I walk in, there's all these wires and all these connections. She could move her knuckle, one knuckle, and she could blink her eyes. And it just came over me. And I looked and kind of hovered over her bed, and I said, what are you doing? Don't you want to get out of here? And everybody, the nurses, they were like freaking out. But that's just going with spirit, that's what I felt called to say to her. What in the world are you doing here? You don't belong here. And I said, if you want to leave, I want you to blink your eyes. And she did. And she got out. She learned how to walk and talk and ride horses, and she had to redo and learn her life all over again. But she's a miracle. Mm-hmm. And those are the kind of things that you're talking about, Kat, that they are about being in this moment of possibility, not being bombarded with facts, but more so being open to spiritual truths. See, that wasn't that long.
No, that was great. Not being bombarded by facts. I think that's the most important thing. Yeah. Really feeling and connecting with your fellow human beings on more of a spiritual, psychic level. I remember when one of my really, really good friends and mentors, when I was going through all of my cancer treatments, she had a stroke. And I got this phone call from her daughter saying, she's in the hospital. Everybody's coming to say goodbye because they don't think she's going to survive. And I'm thinking, I know her. She's a survivor. And so I went to the hospital, and she was up in the hospital room, and everybody was crying around her. And when I got to the hospital, Temple and Bibi, I went to the coffee shop. I don't know why. I was in such a hurry to get up there. And yet I decided I wanted to go to the coffee shop and get a cup of coffee. And the whole time I'm getting the coffee and buying the coffee and putting the top off, I'm going, why am I procrastinating? I need to get up there. I need to get up there now. This is really important. So I go up there, I've got a straw in the coffee cup, and I'm saying to myself, why did you put a straw in a coffee cup that is so hot that if you try to suck that through the straw, it's going to literally scorch your tongue, right? So I get up there and I walk in the room and she's in the bed, and the daughter says to me, she can't speak. Where she's had the stroke, there's bleeding on her brain and it's affected her speech. And I look down at her and she's looking up at me. And, you know, Phoebe and Temple, there's something about our eyes, which are the windows to our souls, which again is some kind of a miracle. And I saw this twinkle and this alertness. It's like she knew who she was, who I was, but couldn't speak. And the daughter said, we're respecting the fact that it's time for her to go. And so we've taken her off of all foods. And I'm thinking, what? And I see her eyeing my coffee. You know, she's eyeing my coffee. And so Temple, I put the cup of coffee down with the straw and I said to her, do you want some of this? And the daughter says, oh no, we're not feeding her because we don't think she can swallow. And she reaches up with her hands and I put her hands around the cup and she sucked that coffee cup dry. I mean, it was going on the bottom. About that time, the doctor walks through the door and he looks at me and he goes, did she just drink that coffee? And I said, yeah. And the daughter's going, she could have choked. She could have choked to death. And my friend is looking at me with that little twinkle in her eyes. And I said to the doctor, I hope you're going to rescind your order not to feed her because she just drank my coffee dry and she didn't choke. And I think she's hungry. And so the doctor immediately went over and took that off and she lived for another 7 years. Wow. Now that was a miracle.
Yes.
I mean, me not wanting to go run right up to her room and go, oh, yes, let's let her die, you know, quickly by not feeding her because she could choke. She just sucked that coffee dry. So, you know, Bibi, I'm sure you've got stories like that too. And my question is, do our miracles, that's such a simple question. It's such a simple example.
I have a fun one because, you know, we get into our hobbies and we get into life and we forget to do our hobbies and the things that might call us. And one is art for me. And I was in this coffee shop and I was talking to the lady behind me and she said that somehow we got onto the subject. And I said, you know, I just love studio. I think that would be so great. She goes, well, the studio opened up behind mine. And, you know, and she gave me the information and all that. And I'm walking out going, God, that's really great. And I don't really want to pay a studio yet. I'm still working. I'm not going to go sit in a studio and I don't want to have rent for a studio. And so the next day I'm sharing with this gentleman and he goes, well, you could use my garage. You know, as a matter of fact, I'd love to do art with you and it wouldn't cost you anything. And I was like, just because I shared that one story about the coffee shop with this woman and then what was finding and how great was that, you know, now I have a studio with a man working in a, you know, and doing art twice a week with him and really just having that moment for myself as an escape, right? As a release and a time to just be in life. And, you know, had I not taken the time to share that little story with him or, you know, just call him out of the blue. And it's funny because in his, we had talked art before and I have several Bruces and you know how you make notes behind their name. Mm-hmm. So I'll put to remember which Bruce it is, yes, right? Yeah. So I have Bruce, artist, you know, wine cup, because I wanted to make sure I remembered the right Bruce when I write it back. And so I've classified him an artist. He's now art, you know, and we do art together. And I think that's just a great miracle of looking for little miracles around you all the time, you know, and the declaration, right? Oh, absolutely. I don't want a studio, but I don't really want to pay right now because I work. I'm not going to be there all the time, you know, so.
Mm-hmm. I agree. You know, I don't, and that brings me to the next question. You know, when I first would think of miracles, I would think of like the parting of the sea. You know, something really big that you absolutely cannot miss. But you know, Temple, do the miracles we experience on a day-to-day basis, do they have to be that big? Do we have to go out there with our staff and hit the ground and watch the seas part? Or can it be something smaller? Manna from heaven.
Absolutely. I mean, to me, if a feather falls in front of my path, that's a miracle. I feel like spirit is talking to me, is connecting with me. I do feel that for some people that are early into believing in miracles, and I'm knowing this book is going to really shift that for a lot of people, it could be just manifesting a parking place. You know, that could be the level of miracle that they can accept that is possible in their lives. Living in Florida also, which you will find as you're going to be a regular now, you get an opportunity to practice weather miracles. And for example, one time this big, unexpected, unnamed storm was coming like right over our property. And we literally go up to the top level and I'm like, let's do the shaman. Let's put the gold bands around the house. Fast, fast, fast. Gold bands, gold bands, gold bands, gold bands. And I tell you that this tornado came through here and there was so much activity and it literally just skipped our house and it went across the street and it took and did damage. It didn't level any of the homes, but it did damage to a lot of the homes. So yes, they're little, they're related in so many different ways. And it can be as simple as just thinking of someone in your heart and they call you. You know, of 7.5 billion people on the planet, you can call it telepathy. You can call it, well, isn't that nice? But that's huge when you're thinking of someone and the phone rings and they're on the other end. That's a miracle.
I agree.
Yeah.
So Bibi, tell us about the bands. And for our listeners who are going, bands, did they run outside and put little gold rubber bands around the house? Because you know, if the next storm that comes, if that's what it is and that's what it takes, I'm going to do it. So,
well, you know, we work with color, and that's what the shamanic practices that Temple does, and I do it too, but I also do it with my body. And you can run the colors, and you ran colors. You had to spill our air and then take all the debris out. Well, you can run it. Green is healing, and so is blue. So cobalt blue and emerald green, you can run it through your body. And I like to do it along the spine, kind of like the medical staff, right? And it goes down the spine and back up, and it gets all cloudy and dirty and gucky. And then we bless it and send it back. I send it back to Mother Earth. So now I got to think about the violet flame now, but I send it back and I thank Mother Earth for taking all that away. And, you know, I had gone to MD Moffitt in Tampa and then decided to go to MD Anderson in Texas because they wanted me to do surgeries and they missed my lumpectomy. They missed 3 sides of my lumpectomy. And luckily for me, I didn't put the port in. I didn't do some of the things. And they're like, oh no, we're going to do surgery again. And I'm like, wait a minute, not for me. I'm going to do a mastectomy and reconstruction right away. And then if you want me to do chemo radiation, I will. Well, so for me, I visualized I no longer have cancer cells, you know, because they missed marks. And so you think remnant, right? Things are behind and whatever. And I did the little Pac-Man, I did the little things. And when I had my mastectomy and I was at diet and I did really good food and such, I had no more cancer cells. So because of that, I didn't have to do chemo or radiation. So I really was blessed, but I did that visualization. And I do believe that there is something to that. We did it another time, Temple. I don't know if you remember, but we did it for the whole Tampa Bay area.
Oh yeah.
We got other people and we called and just said, And we don't like to blow the storm away. We just like to try and dissipate it if we can, reversing the way.
Don't give it to somebody else. Don't
Right.
blow it in their backyard.
Yeah, now we're going to go to Kat and Peter's house.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have these storm parties. I mean,
Okay.
that's what we do, and we come together to hold a miracle. Absolutely, and it works like a charm.
You can see the map when the storm was supposed to hit Tampa. It dissipated, and there was no more. Like they'll have the strength of the circle, and it would come around, and it would just
You'll
dissipate
see it. You'll see the eye.
and dissipate. Right, the circle didn't make it, and it was right over Tampa. And I had stayed up to watch it because I wanted to make sure. And do you know that it came up and went around Tampa Bay, like they tracked it, and then it went north, but it really dissipated at the top of Tampa Bay, which was just amazing. And I hold that for us. We called in with lots of people to do that, though. Not just us.
I want to do that the next time we have one of those. The second day after I moved into this house here in Florida, we got hit with that Cat 1 hurricane, category 1. Yeah. It was like, okay, what next? And well, then our condo burned down, but we won't go there. Anyhow, I remember when I was going through treatment, BB, I remember I was so sick, and the doctors were saying, well, you might need to take another chemo and this and that, whatever. And I went to sleep one night, and I would pray every night, and I would use that meditation that we used at the beginning of this show. I use that still every night before I go to sleep, because I figure if I die while I'm asleep and I fall asleep while I'm doing that meditation, I'm going to be dying in a state of grace, and I'm just going to go straight to heaven, go right through the stop signs, just boom, right there. Mm-hmm. So I remember I was so sick after all my treatments, and I wrote about this in my first book, Surviving Cancerland. I remember asking, would you please send me some angels to do something to make me feel better, because I ache all over and I'm just so sick. And as I fell asleep, all of a sudden I saw myself lying on a table on my stomach, and there were all these angels around me, and they had tuning forks, and they would hit the tuning fork off of their hand for a perfect C, they said, Cancer and C. And they would go up and down my spine, and they were aligning my spine, and they were aligning my chakras with sound. And it was absolutely amazing. And when I was all done, when I thought I was all done, I remember they took 7 pieces of triangular swordfish, and they put a piece of swordfish in every single one of my chakras. And after that, and this is the miracle part, after that, every time I would take chemo and radiation, I would feel better than before I took it. Wow. It was just amazing. It was just amazing.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. That really is. I was just talking to a woman tonight about, you got.
Oh, you know what, Barb? We got to stop. We got to hold up. We missed where we have to go for a break, because this is just so interesting. So don't go away. We're going to be right back. You are listening to Dreaming Healing on Dreamvision 7 Radio Network. And I'm your host, Kat Kanavos.
What if dreams can diagnose your life? What if we can meet the love of our life in dreams? Join host Kat O'Keefe Kanavos, the #1 internationally best-selling author of Dreams That Can Save Your Life, written with Duke University medical doctor Larry Burke. Dreaming Healing is where we'll explore dreams, research, and interpret dreams from you, the caller. Dreaming Healing shows can be heard every Tuesday at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern, with live shows on the first and third evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific Time on syndicated Dreamvisions 7 Radio Network. Come live your dreams out loud with Kat.
Ever had a strange dream? Nautilus Award winner, Dreams That Can Save Your Life, Early Warning Signs of Cancer and Other Diseases by Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos and Duke University radiologist Dr. Larry Burke. Forward by Dr. Bernie Siegel shares how people like you self-advocated in the face of adversity and won using dreams. Read life-saving dream stories validated by medical reports. Hear how dreams of dead loved ones saved lives. Use interpretations and journaling as roadmaps in your waking world for health, wealth, and love. Dreams That Can Save Your Life, Early Warning Signs of Cancer and Other Diseases. Buy the audio and book at KathleenO'KeefeCanavos.com in English and Italian worldwide and through Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and other retailers.
Have you met your physician within yet? The Nautilus and multi-award-winning book, Surviving Cancerland, Intuitive Aspects of Healing, is a memoir that takes you down the rabbit hole of healing dreams and interpretations, mixed with conventional medicine and treatments. Listen to the hookah-puffing caterpillar ask, "Who are you?" Dr. Bernie Siegel says Kathleen's story is powerful, honest, and eye-opening. Surviving Cancerland, Intuitive Aspects of Healing by three-time breast cancer survivor Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos. Buy the book and audio at KathleenO'KeefeCanavos.com and worldwide through Amazon and other retailers. Darkest hours to brightest moments, transformation from despair to happiness, and chaos to clarity. Real people, real pain, real healing. Life-threatening illness, death, abusive relationships, divorce, and overcoming addiction are challenges these men and women faced head-on. See how they emerged stronger and happier. Buy the new book, Chaos to Clarity, Sacred Stories of Transformational Change by Reverend Patricia Caginello and Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos. Available on sacredstoriespublishing.com and worldwide through Amazon and other retailers.
In a world facing annihilation, a miraculous African nun rises to become the first female pope through a web of war, murder, and betrayal. Loved by some, hated by many, she becomes the deadly target of Islamic terrorists and her own cardinals as she introduces a new vision that will either save humanity or accelerate its destruction. 4 people must race against a nuclear holocaust to learn her astonishing secret. Pope Annalisa is available at petercanova.com, Amazon, and other online booksellers and bookstores worldwide.
This is Dreamvisions 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
Welcome back to Dreaming Healing on Dream Vision 7 Radio Network. I'm your host, Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos, but my friends all call me Kat, so I hope you will too. And just before the break that we almost blew through because our conversations are so interesting, we are talking with Reverend Dr. Temple Hayes, who is the CEO and spiritual leader of First Unity Spiritual Campus in St. Petersburg, Florida, and Barbara Bertucci, known as Bibi to all of her friends, who is a breast cancer thriver, and she works with Nikken, Nikken, and you can learn more about both of them at their websites, which is templehays.com and foreveryoungsolutions.com. So just before we had to jump to a commercial, we were talking with Barbara. Barbara, pick up where you left off just before I said, wait, and ran over to a commercial.
Got this from Temple, and when I was sharing with this woman tonight, actually, about the Aunt Jemima song. So every day that I was going through the cancer and being in a club that we didn't plan to be in, we got thrown into the cancer club, right? You're like, air raid, learn all this stuff. It's a hat you didn't pick. And I said, one thing I did every day was sing the song, "Every little cell in my body is happy. Every little cell in my body is well. I'm so glad. Every little cell in my body is well. Happy, well, happy, whole, complete." And to also have people hold you in that light, happy, whole, and complete. And that is really vital, because you don't want people going, oh, poor Barbara, you heard she got cancer, whatever. But whatever you share it fine, but then hold them in that light, in that love and that wholeness. And I'm sending it back to you, Temple, because I got all that from you. You were my coach through a lot of that. So, yeah. What are some tips for the people that are either diagnosed or got that hat that they didn't plan to be a part of?
Right.
Yeah, we become a member of a club we don't even like.
No. We're teaching our children, and I'll be talking about that in my forward of accepting that in my life I wouldn't have children. I have lots of furry children, that's for sure. But and how her name is Miracle of all things, but I teach her to embrace, nature and things. And so something that just happened is every time I see a feather and then she's around, I'll go, look at the magic here. Look how precious, look at the magic, and make a wish. Well, today she was at school and she had a meltdown because the teacher saw a feather and threw it in the trash can. And Miracle, who's 5, says, you can't do that. You can't. She was so upset. You just threw away magic. You can't throw that away in the trash can. So.
Oh, you're teaching her well. She's absolutely right.
That's right.
Yeah. It's funny how feathers are coming up, because Dr. Larry Burke, who was the co-author in my book, Dreams That Can Save Your Life, he just forwarded an email to me from a woman who had emailed him and said that she had spirit guides show up in her dream who handed her a feather. And then she started seeing feathers in her waking world and was wondering what that meant. And so he told her that I had the same thing in the book, Dreams That Can Save Your Life. My spirit guides gave me this feather and said, okay, imagine this is a sword, and go and cut through all the red tape and the arguments your doctors are giving you for why they don't want to do a second set of tests. So I'm really looking forward to talking to her about her miracle feathers, because I believe feathers, when we find them, are indeed a miracle in our house. I mean, who's got birds flying around in your house that you're going to find feathers, unless you find a big pile of them, which means your cat got a hold of them. But even then, my cats have never hurt any of the birds. When they bring them in, it's usually because one of them have slammed into our glass window, knocked themselves silly, and they bring them to me to try and help them. So I believe our children, even our fur babies, learn from us. So this third part of the show is going to go so fast that I want to ask, how can we, or our audience or our listeners, become more aware of the miracles that are around us? What can we do to tune into that? Do you have any suggestions, Temple?
Well, I think the first thing is that you need to want to, and when you want to live in the world of expecting miracles and looking for them, it means that in some ways you need to change, because you can't bombard your mind with just consistent mediocrity. There must be those spaces to look, and you begin to shift your whole mindset. In an example, your car won't start. It's not, oh, why is this happening to me? What's wrong with this car? It's, what is the miracle? I must be avoiding something on the highway. The angels are watching over me. So I'm missing something that I would have otherwise ran into. So it's the shifting of the way in which we hold life. And the more you do it, and the more you expect it, and the more you see it, the more you want it. And you're almost like disappointed if you didn't feel like a major significant miracle happens every day. because they do, and they're all around us. It's just a question of what we see and what we hear, what we feel.
And so, Barbara, what do you think about asking? Like that saying, "Asking ye shall receive." What if somebody in our audience now is saying, I watch all the time, I don't see it, I don't see the miracles. What do you feel about asking?
Yeah, your intention and stating it. And I think you said that best too when we were talking one time. You said, well, and then the next night I just wanted to continue the dream, so I had an intention to do that. So you can actually ask your guides in your prayer before bed to inform you in your dreams and to come forward with your dreams, and be ready, pen, paper, and pad by your bed, so that you can get those signals and those aha moments. And but it was great Temple shared about the expect miracles, because we actually have little signs around our home, little, expect a miracle, and that's one. It's on our mirror downstairs. So you can do things like that, so that you take a moment and breathe and ground and go, oh, okay, just take that pause moment, and you'll notice something in that moment, and and just have that amazing connection with God.
If I may, for a person that says they never see miracles, you want to be aware that you are breathing and you did not consciously tell your body to do so. That's a miracle. Your heart is beating, and you did not consciously have to jumpstart your heart and say, don't forget, you got to beat now. That's a miracle. And that's what you build upon. You build upon those things that are going on, or all the cells in your body that are being replenished, the gazillion cells that are being replenished. That is a miracle. The fact that we're alive right now
is a miracle. Yes. Yeah. Well, believe it or not, we've come to the end of our show, guys. I mean, this was just so quick and so much fun. We've got to do this again.
Yes,
thank you, Barbara Bertucci, for being with us, and Temple Hayes, and our audience. Thank you so much for making Dreaming Healing such a great success.
Yes,
and if you're a writer and you'd like to be in this next book with Barbara and Temple, just go to sacredstoriespublishing.com and look for Mayhem to Miracles. Sign up, and we would love to have you in the book. Remember, go to my website, KathleenO'KeefeCanavos.com, and download your free gift in the upper right-hand corner. Until next time, everybody, good night, and watch for your miracles. And remember, everybody dreams, but some dreams save lives. So write yours down. Good night, everyone.
Thanks, Kat.
You're welcome.
Thank you for joining us this evening, and a big thanks to our producer. Tune in next time to Dreaming Healing for more cutting-edge research, live dream interpretations, and stories with radio host and award-winning author Kat O'Keefe-Kanavos. Listen every Tuesday at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern Time with call-in live shows on the first and third evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific Time on syndicated Dreamvisions 7 radio network. Remember, everyone dreams, but some dreams save lives. Live your dreams. Find more about Kat at KathleenO'KeefeCanavos.com. That's Kathleen with a K. OKEEFEKANAVOS. Or The Queen of Dreams on Google search.
This is Dreamvision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life